Hey everyone, today I'm coming to you with a review on the brand new Marvel Legends Amazon exclusive Spider-Man 5-pack. Now this is a very fun and different set from Marvel Legends. It is included with Spider-Man or Symbiote Spider-Man. It's definitely an interesting Spider-Man that they went with here. It is included with Molten Man, Razorback, the Human Fly, and Silvermane. So a very interesting group of Spider-Man's rogues gallery, and these four essentially are all new in Legends. I mean, we've had an MCU Molten Man and we've had Silvermane's head, but all these besides Spider-Man are new characters and are honestly really good additions to the line in my opinion. So without further ado, I feel like I want to say I have a lot to say about these, but they are all reuse, so it probably won't be as much as I think, but regardless, without further ado, let's get into the Spider-Man 5-pack review. Now, as always, before I go over the figures, I do want to go over the box here, and it is in a very cool box. This box is massive. It barely fits on the screen, but you can see the 5 characters that are included in this box: Spider-Man, Silvermane, Human Fly, Molten Man, and Razorback. And those are all images that are taken from the front here, and this is an awesome drawing. Whoever drew this did a phenomenal job. I think that's who drew it down there. That's, I guess, the credit, but there's the bottom. The other side is the same thing as the other side. And then on the back, we have bios for all of them. So Spider-Man's reads, "Over the years, Spider-Man has clashed with a vast rogues gallery consisting of villains, both menacing and bizarre," and this set definitely proves that. "Silvermane, the Magia leader and corrupt magnate known as Silvermane, has sworn to destroy Spider-Man." If I'm being entirely honest, I don't really know anything about the villains in this set. I know a little bit about Molten Man, but I feel like that's fair. I don't think a lot of people do, but Magia leader, I don't know. Silvermane seems to have a pretty crazy background. I definitely do want to do some research on him. Human Fly, Richard Deacon was a small-time criminal before he coerced geneticists into combining his DNA with that of a fly, giving him superhuman attributes and compound eyes. That is a very cool character. I think that's the one that a lot of people were really looking forward to. Even though it is on a Bucky cap, I know that's one that a lot of people were excited about. I think I saw it on someone's top 10 of the year, which kind of shocked me. But Molten Man's bio reads, I'm trying to fit these on so you can read them, but Molten Man's bio reads, "An accident with his own experiment leaves former Oscorp scientist Mark Raxton with metal skin and explosive heat powers." And then lastly, Razorback, "Inspired by tales of costume adventurers on the East Coast, Arkansas's trucker Buford Hollis takes up the mantle of Razorback with mixed results." That is funny because I remember when they announced this figure, they brought the swoosh up. So I guess because he's from Arkansas, that is why they did that. That's really funny. I loved that segment. That was really funny. Swoosh was kind of like, what? Why? Wait, why are you reading me off? But shout out to the swoosh. But yeah, that is essentially the box. It is plastic free, so everything inside is just baggies. But it was really cool how they did package it nonetheless. But let's get on to the figures. So I do want to start off with the Spider-Man figure here, and this is a very interesting inclusion. It is cool that they included Spider-Man with all of these villains, but the design they went with here was something that I would have never expected them to go with. I thought they were long done with this body. I really didn't think they would reuse it again. They're kind of using that new Amazing Fantasy body as a teenage male body, which I do prefer, but this still is a decent body, and I do feel like they managed to make it feel and move a lot better than the previous versions. I brought the Miles out, and he's very stiff compared to this figure. But when I saw the pictures for this thing, I really wasn't that excited. And then I got it in hand, and I honestly really like this thing. It's way better than I was expecting, and it might just be because the articulation is a lot more loose. I had the Spider-Man that came on this body, the red and blue one, the Peter Parker one, and it broke, so that's kind of a reason why I don't like this figure. And the Miles was always very stiff, so that's another reason. But this figure, it feels like a completely different sculpt, even though it's not, but still, just great job on that part of the figure, at least. Now, the color they went with, this very vibrant purple, is interesting. Honestly, I might have preferred if this was just black, because we do have symbiote Spider-Mans, but they are on bigger bodies, so I feel like it would have been cooler to get just a normal symbiote Spidey on a smaller body like this, but still getting this color is definitely something interesting for sure, and I'll take it. Now, he is included with a few accessories. He's included with two sets of alternate hands. He's included with an extra set, well, an extra open hand, extra whipping hand, as well as a set of fists. So you do get all the hands that you would want with a Spider-Man. Now, going into the other figures, you do got to keep in mind, with box sets, the figures usually are, in a lot of ways, of a lower quality, I'll say. Now, that doesn't usually matter. When I mean that, I just say because they're all put together, they are majority reuse. There isn't a lot of new with these, but still, that's another little bit of charm with them, in my opinion, at least. It's just all the different figures and designs that we wouldn't have got normally, even though they are fairly simple. We do want them still, and to get them all in a 5-pack, I do think is still pretty cool. But back to this Spider-Man. There really isn't a lot to go over here. What you see is what you get. You just get that body with this awesome purple metallic color, and the paint on it is very, very nice. The white, I don't know about the lines there, though. That's kind of awkward. They're not really meeting properly. But other than that, I think that's all I really have to say about the figure. So let's get into his articulation quickly. Now, as far as the articulation goes on this Spider-Man figure, or Ultimate Spider-Man, now that I think of it, that's kind of what it's supposed to be based off of. But regardless, the articulation is very good. So the head does go back that much, down, a little bit of tilt, not a lot, full 360. Those eyes are huge. Arms go out that much, down, full 360. There is a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. All the hands are on a horizontal hinge, so up, down, full 360. All of them, as I said. And then the ab crunch goes down that much. Back, full 360 for waist cut. Legs kick forward that much. Back, splits, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees. Bit of boot rotation for full 360. And then the ankles go up that much. Down, and ankle rocker pivot. So very good articulation for this Spider-Man figure. Now, for villains, let's start off with the Silvermane. Now, this is on a very, very old body, but it does have brand new arms that are going to be used with the upcoming Pretty Boy and the upcoming also 5-pack, the X-Men 5-pack coming up. They are reused with him too, but it is good that we were able to get them on this figure because they definitely do help with this older body, especially when I look at the other arms that were on this body prior to these. This is the, I don't know his name, I think it's Beetle or something. Put it in the comments below, but he has been through a lot. This is one of my first Marvel Legends, so work with me here. That, yeah, he's very, very damaged, but you can see that the body is the same. This is what the arms look like. They have these huge things on the side, which are cool, but they're not really accurate to all of the figures. I do really like those new arms, though. They're very, very skinny, but I don't know, just something about them. They're modern, and they just work very, very well with this old body, and the paint on them just blends in very well with the color on the rest of the figure. Now, for accessories, Silvermane is included with an extra set of fists, which is great to get, but majority of the time, we all know that we're probably going to have him with the guns. Now, the guns he's included with are typical fantasy kind of Marvel Legend guns. I believe both of these were included with a Cable figure, but here we have a gun with 2 barrels on the front, which that is very, very cool. A little bit of paint there as well as this Gatling gun of sorts, which looks really, really nice, and they do fit into his hands sort of nice. They are pretty big. It might have been better if he was included with some more realistic guns and smaller guns, but still, these definitely do work with the Silvermane figure. Now, as far as the head sculpt goes, all of these figures, yes, all of the ones that at least have their face revealed in this set all have the photo real tech on comic figures, which is great to get, and it is used here on Silvermane, and that just looks awesome. I do have this head sculpt. I don't know exactly where it is. It came with the Speed Demon figure, I believe, from the Absorbing Man Build-A-Figure wave, but this one is definitely better with that photo reel. That looks great. Now, the rest of the figure just looks awesome. The colors they went with, the dark gray kind of silver, and then just the normal silver really works well together. I'm sure you could probably use this for a Ultron or something. Maybe that's what they're going to use for the upcoming Ultron and the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania wave. There's rumored to be one in that wave, so maybe it will use parts from this. But the rest of the figure, torso down to the feet, is reused from those other previous figures and the one that I showed, but it does look very good. Now the paint going into here, is this just me? No, that does look good, but I am a little confused by this. I don't know if that's supposed to be painted or something. I feel like that just looks like a very obvious cut in color. I don't know. Definitely weird, but not a huge deal. But the rest of the figure looks really, really awesome. But I don't have a lot more to say with it. So let's get into his articulation. So articulation on Silvermane is pretty good. Definitely outdated on the old parts, but the new parts are pretty good. The head does go up that much. Down, full 360, not really any tilt. And the movement here is a little weird because whenever you want to turn the head, it automatically will look up unless you, I guess, do that, which does have him look down, but it makes him look a little bit weird. The arms do go out this much. I love the shoulders. They're just so round, so different from normal shoulders on Legends. Arms go out that much. Down, full 360. Bicep swivel, full 360. Pinless, double jointed elbows. And then the the fists go up, down, full 360 on a horizontal hinge, while the gun holding hands are on a vertical hinge. So up, down, full 360. Very excited to get the pretty boy. I'm excited to see what the rest of that figure will look like in person. He looks like a really good sculpt. Ab crunch goes down that much. Back, ooh, decent amount. Waist cut, full 360. Legs kick forward that much. Back, ooh, splits. Upper thigh cut. Double jointed pinned knees, and the ankles do go up that much. Down, and ankle rocker pivot. So pretty good articulation with Silvermane overall. Now, next up here, we have the human fly figure, and I believe this is one of the more desired figures from the set. I have been seeing that a lot of people have been wanting this one. Now, granted, it is on a Bucky Cap body. I do still think people will be okay with it, and personally, it doesn't bother me too much. I actually think it works pretty well with this figure. Obviously, I would have preferred the Vulcan body, but you don't always get what you want. He does have this... Oh, I'll check the camera there. He does have this brand new wing attachment, which is really nice. It does have the back kind of sculpted into it, but it is it does have this shape, which is the exact same as the back, so you can't move it around, which is good, I guess. I don't think anyone would really want it to go. I guess you could technically put it like that, but I don't think there's anyone that wants to do that. But it does fit on the back very, very well. As you could see when I pulled it off, it shook the whole table here, so it is in there very, very well. Now, you do get movement with the wings, which we'll get into in the articulation, but there is a little bit of texture with them as well on these parts, and that's definitely a cool addition. But you can take them out of here, and you can just put them back in as you please. But the rest of the figure, let's be honest, this is just very, very simple. It's a yellow Bucky Cap body with a little bit more, but other than that, I don't have too much more to talk about. I do want to focus on this head, though, before we do go over the articulation. This is just awesome. I think this is one of the reasons I really like this figure. It's just so expressive and different for Legends. That mouth is going to be open for as long as this figure stays in the condition that it is. So you never know. 300, 400 years, how long do you think this thing is going to be around? But he's definitely going to have a jaw ache afterwards. But you can see that they did use the photo reel here. Now, I do have to say, I don't know if it really works the greatest here, because you definitely can see a lot of just lines in the mouth, which close up, that looks weird, but from afar, it looks fine. But the red eyes are really, really nice. They do have some texture with them, so that's cool to get. But that head sculpt really, really brings out a lot with this figure. Now, he's included with 2 accessories, nothing crazy, just an extra set of hands, which kind of are useless in my opinion. I don't really see any use with these. I guess for some reason, if you want to have them holding something, you at least have that option. But I guess it's always good to get hands over not having them. But still, not a lot more to talk about here. So let's get into his articulation, which it's a Bucky Cap. You guys know what it is, but still, I'll do it. Do this articulation very quickly because you guys all know what it is. But the head does go back that much, down, no tilt, full 360. Arms go out that much, down, full 360 obviously, but the wings do get in the way. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, hands go up, down, full 360 on a horizontal hinge with both pairs. Ab crunch goes down that much, back, Waist cut, full 360, legs kick forward that much, back splits, upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, boot rotation, as well as ankle pivot, going up, down, and ankle rocker pivot. Oh, yep, this body is very outdated. There's like plastic literally ripping off of the ankles, which is always great to get. But let's get on to the next figure. Now, next up here, we have the Molten Man figure. Now, this is the villain in the set that I think I know the most about because he's fairly well known, at least compared to the other characters. So I can kind of get a sense of why a lot of people don't like this design. And at least me too, looking at the box, he does look a lot bulkier. And I just think this is definitely not the greatest choice of body they could have went with, but it's definitely better than a Bucky cap. We get a Sunfire over a Bucky cap. I'm happy. The head sculpt is new. It does look like kind of just a smaller Colossus, shrunken, very smooth dome, but he does have this awesome expression there. Now, these heat effects do come off on the back as well as the hands. They're just the ones that you're used to. Now, he does have a set of extra hands. He does have a fist for this side with a flame on it, as well as a open hand on this side with a flame on it, and then just a set of normal fists, which is cool to get. But this is just essentially a Human Torch figure in gold, which is cool to get. This is kind of just the same color as the Frankie Ray Nova, I believe. Probably a little bit different, but you get my idea. It's fairly similar, but there isn't really a lot to go over here. You guys know exactly what you're getting with this, so I guess let's get into his articulation. So very good articulation on this figure, which wasn't really in doubt because it's Sunfire, but still, head goes back that much down, a little bit of tilt, full 360, arms go out that much. Now, they are very stiff, which is interesting. I feel like they do go up a little more, but I'm not going to risk it. Great bicep swivel. Probably the best Marvel Legend for, not bicep swivel, for butterfly joints. Bicep swivel here. Double jointed elbows, which go in about 90, which has always been interesting to me. And then the hands are all on horizontal hinges. So up, down, and full 360. This hand has a bit of problems because of the flame, but still you do get a little bit of posability with that hand. Ab crunch does go down that much. Back, full 360. It is a very gummy body, which is kind of what's happened with the Bucky cap, which it's a lot worse with the Bucky cap, but I can kind of see the early signs of this body becoming outdated, but still not bad. Waist cut, full 360 with a new belt, I'd like to say, but I feel like that might have been used before. Legs kick forward that much. Back splits, great amount. Upper thigh cut, double jointed knees, boot rotation, as well as ankles going up, down, and ankle rocker pivot. You also can see the marbling plastic, which I actually kind of like with this figure. It kind of just shows like a flow of molten lava or whatnot. I guess I'm just defending Hasbro now, but still, honestly, not a terrible figure, but nothing too crazy here. So let's get on to the final figure, being Razorback. Now, Razorback was definitely one that I was really looking forward to, especially after Hasbro kind of just gave this to the Fwoosh at their reveal for this figure and others. I just found that very funny. But this character, just look at it. It's hilarious. I feel like this is supposed to be like a hog, but you got the razor back, which is cool. Now, this is just a head sculpt, so you can see it down there, just a head sculpt with a whole bunch of plastic molded around it, and this is just a Hyperion body mold. I do feel like it's a little bit updated though, because this torso looks kind of different to me. I don't know if that's just me, but I always thought this would work so well for butterfly joints. It looks perfect, but we don't get that. But yeah, it's just a gray Hyperion body mold with some yellow boots, gloves, and a belt. And then let's just put the head back on there. This is the main focus that I want to look at here, is this head sculpt. Just have photoreal on the head sculpt below. This is just so funny to me. This is a Marvel Legend. This is 2022. I'm here for it. I love this thing. But that animal just looks great. The hog, it's probably supposed to be, but correct me if I'm wrong. There might be something else, but I think it's supposed to be a hog of sorts. That just looks great. But yeah, like you kind of noticed with the rest of these figures, they do have that 5-pack aesthetic with them, being the fact that they kind of all look a little bit cheaper than normal figures, but still, they do classify as Marvel Legends for sure, and they definitely do work just as well as them. But still, just thought I would mention that. But other than that, he doesn't have any accessories, so I guess let's get into his articulation. So articulation on Razorback is expected. The head is very, very hindered. Just a traffic cone there, essentially. Back that much, I guess you get a little bit of, not really, kind of just nothing. But that's about the movement you get. You can turn the head a little bit. It does stretch out the plastic here, but just a little bit of movement. About all you would really need with this thing. It would be cool to get him in some cooler poses, but still not a big deal. Arms go out that much, down, full 360. Bicep swivel, full 360. Elbows go in, they're double jointed, so they go in a little bit more than 90. And then the hands go in that much, down, full 360 on a horizontal hinge. Ab crunch goes down that much. Back, waist cut, full 360. Legs kick forward that much. Back, splits, upper thigh cut. Double jointed knees. Boot rotation. These might be new boots, but I feel like I'm wrong on that. Ankles go up, down, and ankle rocker pivot. But they're actually really, really nice boots nonetheless. But let's get on to some comparisons. Now, for the first comparison here, you can see the Spider-Man figure from the 5-pack next to the Miles Morales on the same body, as well as the Venom from the brand new Life Foundation 3-pack. This is beyond amazing. I love this thing so much. It's definitely going to be on my top 10 review for the 3-pack with him coming soon. But you can see with these two what I mean when I say that the articulation on the newer one is a lot more movable than this. I just found that, like, this is definitely going to break. It broke on my Spider-Man, but the arm is not going up. Obviously, I can heat it, but still, not that much movement. And then you look here, and it's just boom, 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 boom. Great movement there. Probably just heat this thing up, and it should be fine. But we have had better Miles since this, so I don't really use this figure a lot anymore. But still, not a terrible piece. I do like this one a little bit more, I think. But let's get on to some other comparisons. Here we have the comic Molten Man from the 5-pack next to the MCU Far From Home, quote-unquote, Molten Man. It's kind of just a fire elemental. I believe that's what it was in the movie, but this was labeled as Molten Man on the merchandise for this thing, so definitely different. I do think I prefer this thing overall because, you know, it's a sculpt that only has been used for this and will only be used for this, I imagine. And this is just a Sunfire, but still not a bad figure. This is just a crazy piece, and I always found interesting that they even made this in Legends. But still, let's get on to the next comparisons. Here we have Hydro Man next to Molten Man. I'm waiting for Sony to announce a movie on these two guys. This is what I want. I don't want no El Muerto. I don't want no I guess they announced some movie that Childish Gambino would direct, which they don't know what they're doing with the Spider-Man characters, which kind of makes me sad. But honestly, I would definitely be down. I know I'm joking, but I would be down for a movie on these two. Just the complete antithesis of each other for sure. But other than that, I kind of think that's all of the comparisons I really have. I guess I'll just show this quickly next to the Silvermane. You get the point with it. But yeah, there isn't really a lot more that I want to compare with these. So let's get on to my final thoughts. So overall, my review on this set, when I first saw this revealed, I honestly was kind of on the fence. This was the kind of thing that I was like, oh, this will definitely go on sale on Amazon. And I believe it currently is on Amazon for a huge discount. And I did get it for a little bit of a discount. But my seller did get this in along with a bunch of other Legends, which I will have reviews for coming up. And I kind of just pulled the trigger on it because it looked really good. And I did want it. And now that I have it in hand, honestly, I think this is a very fun set. Certainly, it is not for everyone. And certainly, it is not at all worth the price point of $190 Canadian on Amazon. I think I paid around $140, $150, which is a little bit more reasonable, but I think you can find it on there right now for $113, I believe. It might have already happened, but still, you definitely will get deals on this set and others like it in the future. As we've seen, all the sets on Amazon always go close to half off, if not more. But yeah, this set, not for everyone. Very, very cool figures to get with the set. Very unique, very different stuff that we probably wouldn't have got in the main line. So I definitely have to give it props on that. But overall, I think for a 5-pack, and I'm going to give it the price point of $115 to $150. I think that's reasonable because that's probably what most people will pay for this. I think I'm going to have to give this set a 8.5 out of 10. I think it's really, really cool. We get 4 brand new Spider-Man villains, which whatever you might think of them, that's great to get 4 new characters with any Legends line. Any X-Men, Spider-Man, Avengers, anything. 4 brand new characters, I'll always take. And honestly, I'm fine with the representations of these. Even Molten Man, I actually kind of do like this figure. It is just a Sunfire body, but honestly, I've kind of grown on it. I think it does work, but that is just my thoughts on it. So like I said, 8.5 out of 10. Please let me know what you think of this set in the comments below, or just the individual figures. What do you think of this Spider-Man? Do you think it's better than you expected? This is definitely something that I think is better in person, but still, I do really, really think you guys will like this figure. This is probably, I don't know, is it my favorite from the set? Let me do a ranking of the figures from the set. How about that? Actually, no. I don't know if I could do that. My least, well, no. I'm not going to do that because, honestly, these are all kind of even for me. I think the Spider-Man might be my favorite, but still, the rest are very, very cool. But yeah, that is essentially my thoughts on this set. As always, like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. But until then... Bye, guys.